Frugal living and the journey that I am taking to better myself, put myself in a better situation, financial situation for my wife and I. I'm a novice to this, but I am taking a deep dive and I really want to learn. In fact, I joined a Facebook group on frugal living, and there's tons of pointers on that. So being new to this, I want to share my journey with you. And I put out videos Tuesday and Friday, and I think I'm going to do a series of frugal living videos that I put out on Friday. My Tuesday videos will be the problems we face and we overcome as we get older, videos like that. But for Fridays, I'm just going to do the frugal living and see if that resonates with some of you viewers. Please let me know if that sounds good or not. But I'm going to do it. And, I'm excited to. It's like a new hobby for me. And, years ago, or through the years, I guess, when I had my business, I had a good cash flow. I made decent money. And I never was really concerned, as much about saving pennies, pinching pennies. Now, 2 years later, I'm retired, unemployed. I have no income. And like I said, in my other videos, I talked about, we're selling our property, and that'll help a lot, downsizing. And that's what I'm doing now is I'm really downsizing. If, my thing is if I cannot, if I don't keep it or use it, I'm going to sell it. And if I can't sell it, I'm going to throw it away. So we're selling a lot of stuff, and that's supplemented that's is our income actually. I'm thinking back, and years ago, my grandfather, I really wish I would have asked him more questions and paid more attention to what he was really doing, because that guy was frugal to the extreme. A quick backstory: he was his family was very poor during the Depression, and they didn't have any money, and he starved quite a bit back then. He really had a hard life. Even as a young child, he'd be back there. There was watermelon fields where he grew up, and he'd work the farm quite a bit. And of course, he got married, and they bought their first farm. He was a farmer, and he did real well at that. And as he got older, he had a little produce market. He did very well at that. And then as he got older, he started, and this is really smart. This is back in the 80s, but he would go to like flea markets, and he would get hubcaps, auctions. He would get tons of them. He loved that. That was his social life. He would get up, make an egg sandwich, and take it, with him to the sales. He did that every Saturday morning, I think. Well, anyways, back then, cars had hubcaps, and he amassed probably, over 100,000 hubcaps. It was crazy. He was known locally as Hubcap Harold. There's TV crews that came every once in a while, did like kind of feel-good stories about him. But he did really good. He'd take them, and he would take them all apart, the spokes, and he'd clean them. And if someone would pull in with a 1984 Cadillac, he knew exactly where a set of hubcaps were for that vehicle. It was pretty cool. And when I was younger, I'd go into his barn where his shop was, and I noticed that he had paper towels hanging up, drying. And I asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "They're still good. I'll use them," And he would, instead of buying parts cleaner, he'd have a little gasoline, and he used a vegetable tin can, a corn, of can, and a little old brush, and that's how he cleaned his hubcaps up. So it was really interesting, and I really wish I paid a little bit more attention, because now where I am in life, I'm realizing that these are extreme times, and maybe we should be a little more extreme in being frugal. So that was really cool growing up with him. And when he passed away, this is a really good story. My grandmother told me that he told her he had some money set back for her, and she wanted me to help her get it. I said, sure, anything for you. So I went to they just had a little farmhouse, and she told me where it was. And the little old farmhouses, you had the registers in the floor. They were like big square grates. So I pulled that up, and I was able to stick my head down there. And sure enough, there were like two or three metal containers in there. So I pulled those out, and it was kind of, you had them back quite a ways. And we started counting the money, and my grandma started getting so embarrassed. I counted over $100,000 that he had tucked away. It was crazy. He just put that money away. He did not trust banks. Living through the Depression, he saw families and farms that were foreclosed on by the banks. Back then there were no bailouts. You would get a letter in the mail, and shortly after that, the sheriff would come to your door, and you would be out of your home with nowhere else to go. So he feared the banks. He didn't like them, and he didn't keep a lot of his money in the banks. So that was pretty cool to see that. And now I'm trying to live my own frugal life. And like I said, I joined this book group, and there's a lot of things, and each upcoming video that I do, I want to talk about things that I've learned and how I'm going to apply them to my own life. Starting out, just a couple days ago, my wife and I had our anniversary, which was wonderful. We don't ever go out to eat, very, very rarely. And we just really want to do it save money, basically save money. So we learned that our local Pizza Hut, and this happened to fall on that day, have their all-you-can-eat pizza buffet. So instead of going to a fancy restaurant like a lot of people feel like they have to, we went there, and it was splurging for us. We had the buffet, and it of course comes with an all-you-can-eat salad bar. So we had the salad bar and all the pizza, and we had 2 iced teas. And that came to like $35, which is pretty crazy nowadays for going out to eat. I thought it was pretty good, so that saved us a lot. And like I said, we don't go out to eat very much. We cook at home. And I'm lucky, I'm a good cook. I owned a restaurant for years, so I do a lot of cooking. My wife, she's not, she doesn't like to cook, so she doesn't. But even if you don't like to cook or know how to cook, man, take the time and cook your own food. If you don't know how to cook, there are a bazillion videos here on YouTube on, cooking for beginners. Just start easy. It'll save you so much money in the long run. So when we go to the store, back in the day, I used to buy brand name everything. Now I buy the store brands. Here in Indiana, we have Meijer. Of course, there's Walmarts all over the country, but Meijer, is just another big grocery store, depending on where you're at, like Piggly Wiggly, Publix, whatever. We shop there, and they have a reward system to where, it's money back if the more you shop there. And of course, we utilize that. We clip their coupons. We'll start, I'm learning the coupon thing more, and I'm going to do maybe a whole video just on the coupons. And I know there are sites out there that my wife knows more about than I do, where you take a picture of your receipt and you can actually get money back from them, rebates and things like that. So I think that'll be a good video to do. Of course, we buy, when things are on sale. If, say, for instance, hamburgers on sale, our local butcher, I think, has better sales than the big box stores. So we'll buy like 10 pounds of hamburger if we can swing it. And then we'll divide it up in, quart-sized freezer bags and freeze it. And then when we go to the store, then we will buy, what we can use. Pasta, spaghetti sauce is very inexpensive. Rice, Spanish rice. I mean, there's literally thousands of things you can do with hamburger. Chicken, same way. Tuna, fish. We buy on, everything on sale. I guess the other thing that we're doing more now that I didn't do earlier is probably we're tracking our spending a lot more. We're getting it down to, I think our bills are like $2,000 a month. They would be less, but I still have the business I'm paying just structure insurance on, and I'm still having to pay the power up there, so a little utilities. Or the bills would be less. So we're constantly trying to get that down. We cut our streaming services to where they're, very, very little. And we got rid of DirecTV a year or so ago because that was so expensive. The kids are out of the house now, and they're getting off our phone plans, so that is going down. Everything we can do, and once we get I think there's one more payment. Our youngest boy, once he's off of that and he's on his own, he works. Another thing is we have both our vehicles paid off, and we're going to keep those mechanically sound. They're in good condition, and we're going to drive them forever. We might, I don't know, if we're able to sell our property here, downsize, and move into a smaller home, we might actually sell my wife's vehicle, and we'd just have one. I hate the thought of that, just because, if one goes in the shop, I hate being without a vehicle. I've always had at least 2 vehicles, but, selling the vehicle would give us extra money, and we would we'll not have to put the gas in it or insurance. So that would save us in the long run also. So we'll probably do that. I think that's about all I'm going to cover in this video until next Friday. And we're just going to keep learning and applying, things that will help us save money. That's what it's all about. A lot of us are retired now, and we're on a fixed income. And if you're not retired, even heck, if you're in your 30s and 40s, man, start doing this and save as much money as you can. It's going to matter a lot when you do get to that retirement age. So I appreciate you watching. And again, please subscribe, hit like, hit that notification bell, and you'll see more videos coming up. I'm really excited to do this living frugal thing, because I think it's going to be it's challenging. I love a good challenge, and if I can save money here and there, and add up and have it add up, I think it'll be really good. Again, thank you for watching. Until next time.